Welcome to HCK. This is your favorite program, The Knowledge Quest. My name is Jay Mbuvi. We would like to proceed from where we left. So far we've been working on our website, the Junior Stars website. We have worked on several pages. We've worked on the contact page where we said that users can be able to reach us through the contact page. We also worked on the services page, the about us. We are populating the content of our website. So today I would like us to work now on the index page, the most important page where most of the users come to. Immediately they reach to our website. So I'd like us first to create an overview of what is expected of us in the index page. Then from there we translate it through the code. So this is what is expected. So if this is your index page, for example, we may want to have our navigation links on top here. Of course, the home page link, our about us, our services, and probably maybe the contact, the one that we worked on yesterday. Then immediately after this, we can have some sliding images here. There are tools out there that we can use to make images slide here with some caption, something like that. Then after that we can have something like our mission, and some mission, some dummy mission, our vision, then some dummy vision, and maybe our history, then some dummy history, something like that. So remember, we are populating our website so that now we can start styling. We said to do the styling we are going to use cascading style sheets, but at least we need to have the skeleton of the website, and of course we are using HTML to create the skeleton. So let us begin. Open your Visual Studio Code as usual. Make sure you navigate to your project, file, open folder, go to the desktop, select your project, Junior Stars, select it. Make sure you can be able to see the folder over here and then the relevant files that we've been creating all along. So right immediately you can now get to our index page. We had already created the links to the different files over here. So we have the home page button that when you click it takes you to the index. Then the about us that when you click it takes you to that other page. Services takes you to services, and contact taking you to contact. So I can say that the first layout here is already taken care. So we can now get to the second phase, this one, the second phase of creating the wow slider, the sliding images. So what we need here, there are so many tools out there. There are many tools out there that we can take advantage of, that we can make use of to create sliding images for us. If you just create a normal image the way we were doing, of course we are expecting the tag to be img, and then you can pass the image right at the source here. If you do that, of course you'll get an image, but this image won't be sliding. It will not be cultivating enough to attract users. So that's why we are saying now at this particular moment we can get a tool that can enable us to create sliding images, and this tool is the wow slider tool. So you can open your browser, search for this tool. It's a freeware, wow slider, WOW slider, wow slider. It will prompt you to enter the username and your password. Definitely you can be able to access that account if you have an account of that. What you need once you access the wow slider, link, you need to be able to confirm whether you can be able to get to the wow slider link. I think my connection is a bit slow, but I had already downloaded the application, so this is what you're expecting. Let me just show you the wow slider. This one, wow slider, you need to confirm the spelling, and if you're on Mac, you have to download the version for Mac. If you're on Windows, then you download the version for Windows. So as it loads, yeah, here it is, and this is what I'm talking about, the no-code jQuery slider. This is what you need. So you click it, then it will ask for email, it will ask for your credentials, then you pass the credentials, then definitely it will show you a link to download. So you just need to click the download link, and then it downloads. Once you are done, kindly extract the content of your download. You will be able to get such a tool, this one, the wow slider setup. Go ahead and install by just double clicking, and once you are done, then the next thing that it will be prompting you to do is to pass your relevant images. Remember, we want to create like 3 or 4 images here that are sliding with some caption, like for example the administration block, staff meeting, or something like that. So double click your slider, install, just the normal process of installing a software. You click next, finish, and then from there you're expecting the slider software will now be part of your computer programs. So just a moment as I wait for my slider to install. Then now from there I pass my images. So this is the software, it has been installed, and of course it has prompted requesting for me to drag and drop images here, or just add images to my interface. So I want to assume that you already have some images on your computer, so you just need to go ahead and add them. So let me pick a few from my machine, add images, go to the desktop where I had saved a few images. I'll pick them from here, so I can pick this, pick this, or any other image that you have out there. So once you do that, then automatically the sliding images will be added on your interface. So the other thing that you may do, you can just drag and drop instead of adding. You can just drag from here, drop here, drag from here, drop here. So once you do that, then you're expecting now that your sliders will be ready for you to do the customization. So just a few things here. We have some dummy templates here that you can pick. You can pick either of these templates right away by selecting the template that resonates well with the theme of your project. Then now down here you have effects, multiple effects. You can pick a few effects here. Like for example, you can decide I want some images to be turning, I want some images maybe to fly, I want some images maybe to rotate, something like that. So you can pick 2 or more 3 effects from this point. Now the next thing that you need here is to select the slide size. So the slide size here, you can come here, pick custom size, define the size that you want. Like for example, you can have like 1000 pixels for the width, and then maybe 600 pixels for the height. Press enter so that your settings here can take effect. Now the other thing that you may need at that point is to convert the boxed kind of layout to full width, something like that. So let us see now how we can transfer this to our project at that particular part. So you need to save HTML, click that, save HTML, go to your computer at a specific location, maybe in the desktop, create a folder, click this button for creating a folder. Call this folder some name, like for example you can call it my slides, because the content of the entire slide should be inside one specific location, so that now you can access it. So save there by whatever name that you want. Once you save, automatically this window will pop up, and this is the link to Wow Slider How To. Wow Slider How To is a very important file, and if you minimize, or other, if you close your Wow Slider, for example, let me not just close, if you minimize, you should be able to find that in the folder that you had created, which is my slides, you have folders here, data 1, engine 1, and a view files here, and there's that file called Wow Slider How To. That is an important file. So that file, then you don't need to close it, because it has some instructions of what next is expected of us. But what I want you to do before you are done with the project, you can customize the caption message, this one, to be a bit relevant with the images that is on the focus. Like for example, we can say here computer lab. So that means now we come, click that specific image, the first image here, then it will give you the title here, or the caption. Then go ahead and change the caption to something like computer session class in progress. Now click the second image, the second one here, give it some relevant caption, maybe something like coding class. Get to the third one, give it also a caption. The third image, click on it, give it some caption. Then from there, once you are done, now you can now save, especially when now everything is working well. You can replace your content if you had already saved before. Definitely now this is what we need to transfer to our application. Now the first step in the Wow Slider How To, the first step is to move or copy your two folders in your project. There is a folder called data 1 and another folder called engine 1. So we need to copy those two files, those two folders in our project. So let's go, minimize everything, go to your project, select data 1, press Ctrl, select engine 1, copy. Then for copy is Ctrl C, of course, or rather you can just right click and go to the copy icon. From there now go to your project, which was Junior Stars, paste there, right click paste, or just Ctrl V, either way. So make sure that you can now see data 1 and engine 1 in Junior Stars folder. Let's proceed now to the other step, back to our Wow Slider How To. At this particular point we have the second step, where we are expected now to copy these two links, put them in between the head tags in our HTML. So come here, select. Once you select, copy either by pressing Ctrl C or by just right clicking and click copy. Then from there go back now to your Visual Studio Code. In between the head tag of your HTML, somewhere in between, either before the title or after the title. So you can come somewhere like here, paste there, Ctrl V or right click, paste. Now the last step here, where was this? Wow Slider How To. This is my project, Wow Slider How To. The last step, you select this, you select, just click, it will select everything. Then from there go ahead, right click, copy, then go to your project and paste there. Go to your project and paste. Where are we pasting? At that particular point where we want our sliders to appear, and this is the position. So before you paste here, we can create some break tags, at least so that we can have some space between the link tags and our wow slider. So you can create some break tags there. You can create a break tag and another break tag. So these are my two break tags, so that now from there I can paste my code for the sliders. We are done. We are done. We are done. So before you close your wow slider, it's good you preview your work so that you confirm whether really we are on course, and yes, we have what we wanted. So this is our tags here, and then this is our slide. So we can now get to the second phase, which was now customizing this part, our mission submission message, our vision submission message, vision message, and our history message. Okay, so you can now close your wow slider. I think we are done with it. We are done with it. You may choose to save or ignore. Now, after the slides, you can create some break tags, and then now from there we introduce our visitors to our mission. So we can do that using an heading 1. Remember, we said we have heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4, heading 5, heading 6, all those defining different sizes of our titles. So for this we can have heading 2, something like that. Then we say our mission. Then after that you can create a paragraph, and then we put the mission there. If right now you don't have the mission, then you can generate what we call a dummy, some dummy text. So how do we generate dummy text? By typing lorem. Once you can see this populate, then just press enter. Then Visual Studio Code will generate for you some dummy text. So this means it's just a placeholder for now, at least so that our viewers can see that this is the place that we wanted to have our mission. Now we can go ahead and create now another H2, another heading 2 for our vision. Our vision. And then at that particular point, now create another paragraph, generate some other text using lorem ipsum, press enter. Now you have a placeholder to show our clients where exactly we wanted our vision to be. From there we can go to the third step of our history through another H2, our history. Then a paragraph, then generate some dummy text at that particular point to show users that this is where we want our history to appear. So so far I think we can be able to see what we have done. We have our slider here, and then from there we have our mission in an H2, our vision, our history. So now I think all our pages are populated with content. We had worked with the contact page, we had worked on the services page, we had worked on about us page, we had worked on the home page. So we are expecting now that at least we have dummy content, we have content in all our pages. So we now have something that we can style. We have constructed the architecture of our house. So it is now expected that we can now start styling, we can now start painting, and we said we will use cascading style sheet to do the painting. So this was pure HTML to create the layout of our website. Then from there now we can now blend it with cascading style sheet for it to appear at least attractive. Thank you for watching. See you in the next class. Thank you. So welcome back. We can now proceed from where we had left before the break. So already now we have populated our data. The home page is now populated. About us is already having data. We have the services page having data, and we have the contact us page here having some content. So it is the high time now we start styling our application. To do that, we need to use cascading style sheets. CSS is one of the best innovations that came at least to blend HTML, because you can imagine before CSS came how HTML used to present content to the users out there in a very funny way, in a structural way. So what do you need now to have CSS in our application? We had already created a folder here called CSS. You can have your CSS file in that folder and then link them with your HTML. That is what we call external linking. But you can still decide to have your CSS files inside the specific locations of your HTML. Like for example, you can have in here, inside your work, inside your HTML, you can decide to have in every specific file, you can decide to have your CSS there. So if you do that, it means you are targeting specific HTML files, and that means you may have now to literally visit every other HTML file to have a specific style cut across. Now we also have another way of doing it, what we call the inline. So the inline, you come to specific tag, to a specific tag like this one, you introduce your styling there. So the moment you do that, then that is an inline. It means you are targeting a specific object, a specific tag within a specific file. But the professional way of doing it is using the external file, the CSS external, then you apply now it across your website. So click the CSS folder. Click the CSS folder. Once you click, create a new file there. You can call it mystyle.css. Call it mystyle.css. This is a CSS file. I think now you can be able to see there's a difference between the HTML files and the CSS files. Now, our HTML files are not aware that that CSS file is existing. Our HTML files are not aware that we have a CSS file that is existing. So what you need to do, you need to visit each HTML file and introduce the external CSS. So let us go to the index file. Somewhere between the head tag here, somewhere between the head tag, either it can be before the title or after, it doesn't matter. You can decide to have it before the title or after the title, as long as it's inside the head. Then you create the link tag. Link, not the link tag, you create the link tag with its own attributes. So if you just click, if you just type link and then you press enter, automatically it will generate for you the attributes, the rel attribute and the href attribute. So we are more on the href attribute because it is the attribute that introduces our CSS. So you need to say the location of your CSS file, which was now the CSS folder. Press enter. Then from there, the name of the file. And of course, the name of the file has already populated here. you can see my style.css. It is the file that is here. So you can also press enter. Then now that means your index.html file is now aware that there are some styles that are in the mystyle.css. That is what it will be referring to. Get to the other files, the HTML files, and do the same. Somewhere in between the head tag, type link, press enter, type CSS, press enter, type my style, press enter. It's our services page is now aware that there's such a CSS file located in the CSS folder. Let us get to the other page and do the same. Somewhere in between the head tag, somewhere like here, type link, press enter, type CSS, press enter, type my style, press enter. My contact now is also aware, and I think now my last file will be the about us page. I'll also repeat the same. Type link, press enter, type CSS, press enter, type my style, press enter. So my 4 HTML files are now aware that there's a CSS file that exists in a folder called CSS, and the name of the CSS file is my style. We are done with the connection. So we can now start the styling. For you to start the styling, one thing you need to have in your mind is what item exactly in your CSS are you styling. Let us get to let's get to the index file. We first understand the content of the index file, and then we know what we want to style. At this particular point, you can see in the body we have the A tags. We also have the body tag here. We have an object here. We have divs. We have H1s, H2s. We have paragraphs. That is the content we are talking about, and that is the content that is expected to be styled in mystyle.css. So let us begin with the body tag. Now that specific item that is in your HTML that you want to style, we call it a selector. That specific object that is in your HTML that you want to style in your CSS, we call it a selector. So for this case, our selector here will be body. So the moment you type body, then what should follow is curly brackets. So our selector here is body, and then we have the curly bracket defining the body of our selector. So at that particular time, then what do we need? There are many things that we may want to do with the body. Probably we want to pass the background color of the body. We may want to pass maybe the text color of the body, or what have you. So at this point now you can just type background. As you type background, then you can see this populating. Then you can pick background color. Once you pick background color, then you can see it has been followed by a full colon and a semicolon at the end. So all these are different natural colors that we can type. Like for example, we can decide to use light green. So up to this particular moment, we are expecting now all the bodies of our HTML files, they have picked that color. Let us see whether that is the case. Go back to your project, and this is your project. You can see now all the files have picked that color. Now, when it comes to colors, there are so many ways that you can generate your colors. You can either use the natural name like green, blue, yellow, and all that, or you can decide to combine the density of the colors. Before we proceed, I think we can have a look at that so that we can at least know how we will be mixing up our colors together to achieve a specific color design. So I have this file that I've prepared for you here, so that we can have a look at it and understand the different color designs when it comes to CSS. So we have RGB. Apart from the natural names that we've talked about, we have RGB. This means ratio of red, green, blue. We have HEX. We have just a moment. We have let me scroll down here. We have combination of hexadecimal colors, starting from 0 to 9, then from A to F. You pick a combination of either of those, and at most they should be 6. Short form of it is 3. That means, for example, if you want to achieve a certain color, like black is 0 0 0, or you can say 0 0 0 0 0 0. That is black. For white it will be F F F, or you can say F F F F F F. Now you can be mixing either of these to achieve whatever color that you want. Like for example, you can have F F F 0 0 0, giving you a certain color. You can have 0 0 0 F F F, giving you a different other color. So that is what we are calling the EX colors. EX colors define the hexadecimal color of a specific combination using zeros, 0 to 9 or A to F alphabetical numbers. So the other way you can also create colors is by mixing saturation and lightness in this manner. Just a moment. Yeah, HCl, mixing saturation and lightness and hue in this manner. You start with hue, then saturation, then lightness. Now hue being the degree of the color from 0 to 360. You pick a certain figure out of that. Then saturation being a percentage of the shading of gray, and then we have the opacity or the lightness or the density of it. So you can also mix the same and achieve a specific color. So at some point you realize that people are using either of the three to achieve a certain color variation. So we have this RGB, X and HCl, and we also have the alpha part of it. Alpha now representing the opacity or maybe the density at this particular point. So we have RGB, we have HEX, we have HCl, and we have RGB A and HCl A. So we'll be picking either of that combination. But again, if you know that specific color by its name, then definitely you can use it. Like for example, you can have black, you can have gray, you can have blue, you can have tomato, orange, whatever color that you want. So you realize that the application that we are using here understands that. We are using Visual Studio Code and it understands that. So if there's a color that you want to pick and probably you can't remember its name, then what you can do, you can hover your mouse on top here, and then you realize that it will bring that combination for you. Then you can pick, and it is even showing which browsers support that kind of combination. So you can always come here, pick the color that you wanted to apply as the background color, and it will combine for you as you pick the color. So far I think we have applied the background color to our bodies. So the next thing that now we can target is the A tags. We can target the A tag from the index page, from the body here. Then we can now target the A tags. So at this particular point, let's go to back to our CSS and create our selector, which will be the A tag something like that. So the A tag, we can decide to give it several things. We can probably create a block. We can decide to give it some background color, some padding, some margin, some styling. So straight to the point, background color. Make sure the background color that you are giving your A tag is not similar to the background color of the body, otherwise your button will not be seen. So you can pick a color of your choice. Make sure the color that you are picking is a bit a color that is not contradicting, or rather not matching with the body, at least so that it can your links can at least be visible, something like this. Now I want to customize the padding. The padding is the space between your object and the outer border. Like for example, we have this, the word home here. We are talking about this. That is the padding. It can be left, right, top, bottom. So you just need to come here and say padding, and then define the padding of your choice. Like we can say all around 20 pixels. All around 20 pixels. It will give you something like this. All around 20 pixels, and then that's what you get. If you think that is too big, you can reduce it and give it maybe something smaller. Let me say 15 pixels. You should be able to confirm whether really you've gotten what exactly you wanted. This is which page? This is contact us page. Go to home page, confirm. Go to about us page, confirm. Go to services page, confirm. Go to contact us page, confirm. I think in my contact us page there's a problem with my last link. Let me visit the contact us page here. My last link, which was here, contact us.html. Yeah, this is my first link, my second link, my third link, my fourth link. Contact, yeah, it's okay, it's okay. Now let us confirm our links whether they have picked. So the other thing that we can do here is to maybe give it some border radius, at least our button to have some nice finishing on the edges, something like this. So that you need to use, on that you need to use border radius. Go back to your links, have your border radius here defined, border radius, then define the border radius that you want. You can decide to just use one single border radius across all the four corners, or you can decide to target each corner at its own style. So like for example, you can say I want across to have 30 pixels border radius. So it will give you something like this, you can see. But if you are targeting a specific corner of your application, then you just need to define maybe like 5 pixels for one corner, the first one. Then the second corner you can have it like 30 pixels. The other one that we can say also 30 pixels, and then we define something like 8 pixels. Let's see what that gives us. That is what we've gotten. You can see the corner here, and the other corners here. So you can play around with the pixels and see if you can get exactly the effect that you want to have. Now all our links are a bit okay. All our links are working quite well, and they have been customized. We have given them the theme that we wanted. Now the next thing that we may want is to create an effect whereby the moment you hover the mouse on top of either of these, maybe a different color comes on. If you hover the mouse this way, we may want to get a different color. That means we will still be targeting the same A tag, but now we are expecting to just change the background color when someone hovers the mouse on top. So we'll still use the same selector, but we type full colon, then the hover, and then now our curly brackets, and at that particular point now we just define the background color alone. The rest of the things we can decide to ignore. So like now, if somebody hovers the mouse, we can pick a certain specific color at that particular point, like this aquamarine. So let's see whether that is working. If you hover the mouse, you can see it's changing the background color. You hover the mouse, then the background color changes. You hover the mouse, then the background color changes. So confirm whether that is the case on your side. If it's not working, always confirm the spelling, because in coding, spelling is everything. You cannot make grammatical errors and then you expect it to work. No. So from there now, you can do, or you can add any other style that you want. Like for example, I can maybe decide to align my content at the center. I can decide maybe to increase the padding. I can decide to increase the width, the margins. You can do any other thing that you want. Like now I can say from one button to another, I want maybe a certain margin on the right side. On the right side, I may want maybe a margin of, let me say, 20 pixels. Then you just need to get inside that specific tag and introduce your new property with the new value that you wanted to have. So go back there, confirm whether the margin is okay. If it's not okay, you can still increase the margin to a bigger figure. Like let me try 50 pixels, and then this is what it gives me. You can see the margin between one object to the other object to the other object. It's a bit excuse me, it's a bit bigger. You can see the difference between here and here. The margin here has increased. So margin is the space between one object and another, but padding is the space between the inner content of the object and the outer border of that particular object. Now at this point, we may want to have an effect or an illusion that a user has visited a certain page. Like for example, the moment you click home page, we may want the home page link to remain to that specific color. When you click about us, we may want the about us page to remain to that specific color. When you click services, the same. When you click contact us, the same. So what do we need? We need to get back to our CSS, and for this case now, use a class. How do we create classes? In CSS, we create classes using the dot, what you guys call a full stop. So here, if there's an object that you are targeting that you don't want to affect the rest of a similar nature, then you can use a class or you can use IDs. So at this particular time, you can see what we have here. We have a links, but remember, we only want to change the a link of the about us part, leaving the others intact. When we go to services, for example, here, we want to change the a link of the services, which one? This one, but leave the rest intact. So what do we need? We need to come to the CSS, use a dot, give it a name, whatever name. Like I can give it the name active. So this means class active. So I'm creating a class, giving it the active name. So at that particular time, what do we need? I need to change the background color of my object, which is using the active class. So now we can now get inside our specific HTML files and introduce the active class to the specific A tags that we want them to remain with the aquamarine background. If you want, you can still add many other styles, like for example you can do margins, you can do paddings, you can do whatever other thing that you may want to do out there. So at this particular time, you go to the About Us page, you go to the About Us page, go to the About Us page, introduce the active class. So you just need to say class equals active. Go to the Contact Us page, to the Contact Us link, introduce class active. Go to the index page, to the index page, introduce class active. Class equals active. Go to the services page, on the services link, introduce the active class. Class equals active. We are done. We are done. Let us see the effect of that. I am already in the About Us page, and already you can see my background for the About Us is a bit different. When I hover the mouse, like I want to visit my home page, it's already having its own background. So as I click, then it remains that color. When I visit contractors, again we have created an illusion that we have changed the background color of our specific item, the contractors page. Go to services, go to About Us, go to home page, and that is the effect that we wanted to achieve. As you can see now, styling is everything. HTML is just the outline, but CSS is now the blending, the painting. It is what now the users want, because if you are creating a website using just raw HTML, then people out there, they may not get attracted. But with CSS, then you realize that you can now concentrate on creating the layout of your website and then work on the CSS styling later, and you achieve a very nice application. Thank you for watching. See you in the next class. Thank you so much.